Today on 41 Garage, we're doing part 2 of the series, rebuilding the transmission on the CJ. Hey, welcome to 41 Garage and Grills. If you like Jeeps, going on adventures, and occasionally throwing something on the grill, then this is the place for you. Hit the subscribe button right now. This video today is part 2 of the series. We're doing a rebuild on the CJ7 transmission. I bought, during the quarantine of the coronavirus, I bought a bunch of parts from Novak Adapters and did the rebuild, basically just replacing the synchronizers. So let's continue on. Here we go. So let me get this set up a little bit. I'm going to try to reassemble this. Okay, so we'll put some grease on there for that initial startup. Already got this one done. Oh, get her lined up a little better. There she goes. Now, turn this over. And now for our first attempt at playing with the snap rings. This one was a bear to get off. Okay, managed to get the retainer clip in. Now we'll put the synchronizer in. Here's my first synchronizer. This bad boy. And then, the good news after that is we get to find another retainer clip. Okay, so next retainer clip. So I'm not going to bore you with watching me do that. So we'll be right back. Okay, so finally. This clip right here, you can barely see it, was such a challenge because of this gear here. The retainer clip pliers weren't working, and I had to use a combination of some screwdrivers to pry, more or less pry it on there. But it's finally on there, so on to the next step. This one is nice and easy. She just slides right on there. Over here, I don't know if I'm even in the camera. Yeah, okay. This one will just slide right on, nice and easy. All right, replacing these. So I got that in. Okay, so let's throw this guy on. Move this around just a teeny bit. Okay, let's do these Anaheim bearings. So, this is your Anaheim bearing, and it helps work the synchronizer. So you want to line up your synchronizer to the grooves. So with the grease on there, it helps hold it in place while you're rotating things around. You should be able to put that on there and put some pressure on it and feel it go down. Okay, so there we go. Now comes the fun part. Okay. So now for my clutch piece, get this all lined up, started, and then kind of push these Anaheim bearings underneath as I'm pushing this clutch piece forward, and boom, there we go, nice. Okay, you can see I'm trying to shove out there, but when you put the fourth gear in there, with the synchronizer. That'll hold those in place. So awesome. Okay, this is the one they said would be fun. Finally, success! This piece here was nearly impossible to get on because I had the pop-it balls with the springs, and I could not for the life of me get that thing on there. So I ended up having to build this little box to set this piece in, get everything lined up, and then use the rubber mallet to pound it down. Let me set it up real quick and I'll just show you. Okay, so the ultimate trick was to take this thing, wrap it around there, tighten it up enough to hold the balls in place and get some tension on them to push them in. I brought this piece then down onto them to meet up against this, so it'd be like this. So the balls would be underneath here, and it's just enough pressure to hold them in place. Taking this hammer and pounding it the rest of the way down. Once it got past the balls, I popped this piece off, and boom, the magic happened. Holy cow. I cannot believe what that was all about. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, you might notice some things different. It's been a while since I've worked on this transmission. Put something in the comments below if you like the new look or not. Just life got in the way of working on the transmission, so it's got put off to the side. I normally wouldn't stop to tell you all that, but because of the change in the shop, you'd probably be watching and say, what the heck happened, right? Yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna have some tacos. You can't go wrong with tacos, right? All right, so taco time is done, so let's get back to work here. Okay, getting back into action. Let's get some grease in this. Probably don't need a lot because there's still some left over, but this is going to help hold the bearings in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to set the input shaft in place. Just going to kind of sit there while we get the rear ready to go in. All right, I'm going to get the clutch sleeve back on there. So I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but one thing I've learned in this project is on the T18, the bearings, there's two options. One, these bearing, the thicknesses are the same, and then there's another one where the rear bearing is just a little bit thicker. Mine just happens to be the one where it's thicker. So what I'm going to do is tap these on here as far as I can, and then we will put it on the new toy and see if we can press them on. Okay, so here's the press in its new home. I got the transmission all loaded up, ready to go. Let's get to work, see how this thing works for us. Okay, I'm trying to press this output shaft onto this new bearing, and just about there. Kind of almost fell into place, but let's see what it does here with the press. Wow, it's like butter. Nice, and there we go. It was okay. Now we got this clip to put back on. I'm going to spare you the pain of watching me do that because it's just as hard to put on as it was to take off. So let me get that on there and then we'll get back to it. Finally got this snap ring on. It was a pain, but I got it. So now I have this adapter. This is so I can hook the Chevy belt housing and mount it to the Chevy motor. So I have a Chevy small block engine in that bad boy. Okay, next up, bearing retainer even though this is actually retaining it, the spacer, but gotta get this guy on here. Okay, got that in, and pretty much this side of the transmission is done. So now we'll switch over to the other side and work on that. Okay, we're ready for the rear adapter plate. Got these 2 bolts ready to go. Make it a little easier lining all this up and holding it. Okay, so at this point I'm pretty much done with the putting it all back together. I'm actually starting to add some gear oil in it now. So pro tip, I'm going to add it through the top. That way I can kind of get some going through all these lovely gears and things like that. So let me just stop for a second. So the only thing I gotta do is put the top on and then reassemble it and get back in the Jeep. So next time you see me, it'll be in the Jeep and we'll be on the road. So let's do that. See ya. Oh look, 4th gear, not popping out. Finally got it fixed. So all right, it's time to celebrate. We got that Jeep fixed and back on the road. It's no longer popping out of 4th gear like it had been doing forever. And it was a great project to do over the quarantine time. Everything came from Novak Adapters. Now they're not sponsoring me, but they're such awesome people that I have to just give them a shout out, because I called there a few times with different questions and even exchanging some parts. I don't know if you caught the part where I was talking about the different size bearings in the rear on the output shaft. I had ordered the wrong one and it was no issue, especially with everything going on with the coronavirus at the time, everything being shut down. So awesome people, happy the Jeep's going. Time for a celebration. And no, this is not blinker fluid. And if you have questions about the blinker fluid, go watch this video right here. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Boom!